Good morning. It is NFC Championship Sunday, 49ers Eagles here at Lincoln Financial Field. This is Jack Hammer, and we're going to break it down and give you all of the keys to watch for today on the Jack Hammer Show coming up right after this. Hey everybody, this is Jack Hammer. I am here at Lincoln Financial Stadium it's Lincoln Financial Field for the NFC Championship game between the 49ers and the Eagles. It's going to be a great day today. Let's go ahead and just shout out a few folks in the comment section really quick. We have Raphael 5629ers. He's a member of the Toolbox. Says good morning, Jack, members of the Toolbox and everyone. Good morning, Raphael. It's great to have you on board as always. Says like and subscribe. We've got Russell and Patrick on the show as well. Sylvia is in the house. 49ers 28. I think she's starting to give us the score of the game. 49ers 28, Eagles 23. I like it. That's a good one. That's a little higher than I would expect, but it's going to be, I think that's a solid number right there. We've got also Ken Martin says Niner gang. Hey, on the plane last night on the flight out here, a lot of bang Niner gang going on. We've got Curry in the house as well. And then last but not least, Doc's Watchbox. Jack, I'm watching from Naples, Italy, where I'm stationed at 6:30 p.m. and I am ready. That is awesome. Great to see you, Doc. Thank you for doing what you're doing for the country, all the way out in Naples. And there's some other folks that watch this channel quite frequently from over in Europe, different areas there. So great to have you on board. Hope you're fired up for this game. Same with Russell Peterson's. Good morning, Jack. We got this. This is going to be a fun game. This is a huge one. The 49ers looking to punch the ticket to the 8th Super Bowl in franchise history when they face off in a couple of hours here against the Philadelphia Eagles. Kickoff coming in about 2.5 hours from now. The 49ers enter the playoffs as the second seed in the NFC, giving them a couple of home games to start off. They defeated their NFC West rival Seattle 41-23 in the wildcard round a couple of weeks ago. Followed that up with a 19-12 victory over Dallas last week in a really physical NFC divisional round game. And then you look over at the other side and you have the Eagles. They were 14-3 in the regular season, which gave them home field advantage through the playoffs and a bye in the first round. So their first playoff game was a week ago. They faced off against their NFC East rival, New York Giants, who they blew out 38-7. The game here at Lincoln Financial Field last Saturday night, not even close. It was a no contest, 28-0 by halftime, and then they were still able to outscore them in the second half by a score of 10-7, even though they were taking a little bit easy on them. You look at this matchup, 49ers Eagles, they've only met once prior in the postseason, that coming in the 1996 NFC wildcard game. That game was played at Candlestick Park, which at that time was known as 3Com Park. Wet, windy, miserable kind of day. I remember I was talking to some friends about this. I was at the field that day with my brother, and we tried to get into the stadium as soon as we could because the weather was so bad. And we had to stand up against the wall on one of the bridges to get across from Jamestown Street over to the stadium. We got in as soon as the stadium opened, and it wasn't it was a slog. It was a wet, windy day. The 49ers won that game though 14-0. You had a touchdown pass from Steve Young to Jerry Rice, and then Steve Young also scored a touchdown on a run as well. Actually suffered fractured ribs on that touchdown run. So let's get to my 5 keys of the game really quick. Not sure how much time I'm going to have here before the fans get let in and things start to get crazy around here, so I want to get this in as soon as we can. Number 1, is Brock Purdy ready to make history? You look at what Purdy's done so far. He's proven that he is up to the pressure of playoff football. In his first 2 starts, he's gone onto the field in the second half, down by 1, and then also in the other game they were tied. Sunday in Philadelphia is going to face the ultimate test, the team that really gets after the quarterback. Hostile crowd, cold weather, an Eagles defense which has recorded 70 sacks in the regular season, most in NFL history. It's going to be a tough one for Purdy, but he's been dynamite in that second half, and I really think he's going to be able to come through. Number 2, will the 49ers find success on the ground? The 49ers entered the championship game having averaged 154 yards per game on the ground over their last 12 games. On Sunday, they're going to face off against an Eagle defense, which was 24th in the yards per rush per rush attempt allowed during the regular season. That was 24th best in the NFL. Allowed an average of 4.6 yards per carry. So that seems to really look like it's going to be in the favor of the 49ers. You have Christian McCaffrey, Elijah Mitchell, Deebo Samuel, and an offensive line which specializes in running the ball. The Furnace have depth to attack. Hey, sorry about that, everybody. This is what happens when you go behind enemy lines. Every once in a while, you're outside of your normal area, and had some technical difficulties out there. The Wi-Fi went down, screen went black. I apologize. I am back inside now, so I have the Wi-Fi working. Let's get back to where we were. I apologize again. let me go through a couple of the, yes, Raphael 5629ers with the comment of the show so far. Jack froze. Absolutely. I froze. And then like Russell Peterson says, it was Jack Frost. And I froze, the screen went black, and I am back up though. So thanks everybody for being able to hang with me. So I went through the first part was the Brock Purdy piece. Went through that. Like I said, he's been dynamite in the second half of these games. 16-21, 270, a couple of touchdowns. The biggest number for Brock Purdy so far is that there have been no turnovers. So that's been the key for Brock Purdy. That's a big key for the 49ers that we'll be getting into in a little bit. And you can hear the fans starting to come in here. Will the 49ers find success on the ground? That was the second one. They need to be able to run the ball today. The 49ers have averaged 150 yards, 4 yards per game on the ground during their 12-game win streak. So basically, since they picked up Christian McCaffrey in that trade and he began with his first start. On Sunday, they're going to face off against an Eagles defense, 24th in the league in yards per rush attempt allowed during the regular season, 4.6 yards per carry. With McCaffrey, Elijah Mitchell, we're not sure if he's going to go today. Mitchell did not practice at all this week. He had some groin injury, a little bit of a groin strain that left him off of the practice field this week. He was not listed as out, though. He's listed as questionable. We'll see what happens. The 49ers did elevate Tevin Coleman yesterday. If Mitchell doesn't go, I would expect that we see Jordan Mason fill that role left by Elijah Mitchell. He's the guy who, when Mitchell went down the second time in the second half of the year, it was the rookie Jordan Mason who came in and filled that role as the main back, kind of, to close out the game. So we'll see how that works for him today as well. The Eagles have faced, an average of just under 27 rushing attempts per game. So teams have been trying to run at the Eagles, and they have found success. As I mentioned, I look at this game and I think if San Francisco can get McCaffrey and Mitchell or Mason, along with Deebo Samuel, if they can get them, just keep staying on the ground and get to 30 attempts today, they're going to win. You look at the numbers, bear that out. Kyle Shanahan, 29-2 with the 49ers when they attempt at least 29 or 30 carries, rushing attempts. 30 rushing attempts, 29-2. That's the 49ers' golden number. Sometimes, though, those rushing attempts don't come in the first half like you would expect. We'll see how this one plays out. I look at it like a boxing match, right? If this is a boxing match, think of the run plays as the body blows. Those constant shots to the ribs, those are what kind of start to wear on your opponent. You kind of get them to drop their hands a little bit, and then that allows you to come in with that uppercut to knock them out with that big shot. So look for the 49ers to try to have a lot of success on the ground today. It's going to be a big piece of their day. As far as is Drake Jackson playing, I won't know that until about another hour from now, at around 10:30 Pacific time. That's when the 49ers will announce who their active players are. They'll give us the inactive list, and that'll let us know. I would say that if I had to place a bet on if Drake Jackson was playing tonight, the bet would be no, that Drake Jackson would not be on the field today for the 49ers. They've kept them inactive for a number of games here of late, and it really seems like it has to do with their need to stop the run, and that's why I don't think you'll see Drake Jackson active for the 49ers today. But we'll see. Official word will be coming down in about an hour from now. Nick Garfoot says running game is going to be huge. Control the clock. You just tire out their defense. I agree, and you look back to the game last season, and there was some of that. Even last week against the Cowboys, their ability to maintain the ball on the ground in the second half was a big piece for the 49ers. Lee Ving says, Jack, still running an obvious stack box. He gives up a few early scores. Will there be enough possessions to keep running? Well, and that's Lee. That's part of it. That's kind of where I was going. It's when you're running the ball and getting to 30 carries, it doesn't mean that you come out and you just run the ball. It's usually part of the reason why their record is so good when they get to 30 is because they are ahead and they are able to run the ball. But in a game like today with a defense like the Eagles, it's going to be a little bit of a mix and match. I think that you look at the Eagles defense, listening to the Eagles fan base and the media over this last week has been interesting. They complain a lot about their defensive coordinator who gives it because they play a soft shell, which allows for quick passes over the middle, those short underneath throws. And so I think the 49ers are going to be able to find success through the air. They're going to be able to find some success on the ground as well. It's always a mixture, but that's why I have both of them in there. It's not one or the other. So that's a good question, Lee. I appreciate that one. And that kind of goes into this next question that I was going to talk about. Number 3, the 49ers receivers being able to get yards after the catch. You got to get yards after the catch. The Eagles struggled early on in the season with tackling. So we'll see how they match up today, because today they get the Yak Bros. Philadelphia defense coordinator Jonathan Gadden has drawn the ire, like I've mentioned, of Eagles fans and even some of the Eagles media this season with using soft defense, which is allowing opponents to find success on the little quick throws underneath, some throws across the middle, those throws across the middle where the 49ers are at their best. Those short intermediate area just happens to be, like I said, where the 49ers are at their best. Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Juwan Jennings, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, all those guys really good after the catch. That's where they do the dirty work. You get those little throws underneath, let them run. Philadelphia's defense is extremely fast. It's going to make it, which could make it a little difficult for some of those shorter screen games to work, but you get the ball downfield 5-6 yards and then let those guys do the work, and I think they can find some success. You look at the Eagles passing defense coming into this game. The big number that I always like to look at is net yards per attempt. And Philadelphia has allowed just 4.9 net yards per pass attempt. Now, a big reason why for that 4.9 number is the 70 sacks that they've put together this year. You look at Philadelphia, when you look at net yards per pass attempt, that is the passing yards minus the sack yards. So when you get a team that sacked the quarterback 70 times, you would expect their net yards per attempt to be down. So again, a quick passing game, get the ball out of the hands of your quarterback, get them out quickly. I think that works out well for the 49ers and allows them to get the ball out there and have those, as I said, those Yak Bros be able to get going, pick up some yards and really help them out there. Let me just check the comments really quick, see if there's anything that we've hit on. JC Connor in the house says, "Hey Jack, hey JC, good to see you." Lee Ving likes it, great work, thanks. Absolutely. Josh Hutchins says, "Let's go Niners. This game will be decided in the trenches. Got to get that run game going." Absolutely. Russell Peterson wants to know if Rob is in the house, and he is. I've actually met Rob, and I ran into each other in Chicago, of all places, on the way in yesterday. Myself, Rob, and Eric Branch, another writer for the 49ers who covers the 49ers. We all ended up on the same flight, our connection in Chicago to get here. So we're all here, and I was able to hang out with Rob a little bit last night and go you're in Philly, you got to get a Philly cheesesteak, right? So I was able to go out with Rob last night. We got a Philly cheesesteak. Good stuff. Let's see really quick. Let's see what else there is. Let's go Niners. This game's going to be decided in the trenches. Niners win 31-17, says the Matrix. 559 Faithful says, empty stats, much like the 49ers, the Eagles have played the worst schedule thus far. There's something to that, I believe. Noe says, thanks for all your hard work, Jack Hammer. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Let's see what else we got. I'm going to give you the unsung hero for today's game is going to be Mike McGlinchey. He's going to be the guy that's going to have to be the unsung hero. He's the guy who you look at this pass protection and, again, this pass rush that they're going to be up against. That is the guy who needs to come out and make do today is going to be Mike McGlinchey. I think Trent Williams will be fine on the left side. On the right side, though, that's where it's going to – McGlinchey needs to lock down that right side if they're going to find some success through the passing game today. So there you go. Mike McGlinchey, your unsung hero for the 49ers if they're able to win today. Josh Hutchinson, I like this one as well. Ray will have a game-changing play today. I think that will help the Niners win. I think you're right. I think he will have one. God bless the 49ers, says Harold. Awesome. Great to have you on board, Harold. I know you're always around here. Let's look over at the defense. Let's turn to the defensive side. My first question, observation, key for the 49ers defense today, I think, and I know this sounds counterintuitive, but I think the 49ers need to force Jalen Hurts to beat them. If they can force Hurts to beat them, I think that's where it works out for the 49ers, because Hurts, he presents the 49ers, I think, their toughest test of the season because of the stress that he puts on you with his ability to run with his legs. But that's where it kind of comes in why I think this way. The 49ers' best bet is to shut down the rest of that running game. You got to shut down Miles Sanders. You got to shut down Kenneth Gainwell. If you do that, you force Hurts to be the guy that's either doing it with his legs or with his right arm. I think you find success. And this goes back to last year and as well as this season as well. When the 49ers won their game here in week 2 last season, they were able to shut down Sanders and Gainwell. They held them to just 69 yards on 19 carries. So with a game on Hurts' shoulders, he was able to only complete 12 of 23 attempts and holding the Eagles to 11 points. And you might remember there was, of those, one of his big plays, he didn't even get over 200 yards yet. He had a 90-yard pass completion from one end zone to the other, but he was tackled. They were able to get to the tackle the man just short, and then a goal line stand gave the 49ers back the ball. So you look at that, and Hurts, you look at what Hurts has done. He's been the Eagles' leading rusher 4 times this season. All 4 times that that's happened, the games have been come down to one-score games, and those are against teams that aren't that good. We're talking about teams like the Bears and the Colts, and there's a couple other ones where when Hurts is the guy that has to be, when everything else is shut down, that gets really tight for Philadelphia. So I think that's where it comes down for the 49ers today. And if he can put it on right shoulder of Hurts, it's going to be their advantage, especially if they can get some pressure on him at that point and force him to run. When he's on the move, he's completed just 37% of his passes for 4.2 yards per attempt. So stop the run, get after Hurts. I think you're in good business. Can the 49ers secondary keep everything in front of them? That's another key here is keeping everything there in front of them. You look at the Eagles, they do go down the field quite a bit. They have a pair of really good downfield threats in A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Those two have combined for just under 11 catches per game and 160 yards during the regular season. Then you throw in Quez Watkins, and you have 3 solid deep threats here for Philadelphia that can really get down the field. So you look at, and you turn the page, and you look at a 49ers defense here that's allowed at least one reception over 45 yards in each of their last 5 games. And 4 of those 5 has led to points. Last week, the big one last week against the Cowboys didn't, but they were also because it was backed up. It was kind of similar to that Eagle situation from last year. But the 49ers have to try to keep everything in front of them. Don't let anything get beat deep. Stay strong and sound in your responsibilities and your keys. They found some success with doing that. Their biggest thing for the 49ers is when they can force teams to have to work their way down the field. If it's a little, again, go back to the game against Dallas, just like we just saw it just last week, but we've seen it a number of times. When the 49ers force you to work your way down the field, eventually they are going to get you to turn the ball over. And then that's where that's the big deal for the 49ers there. So force Jalen Hurts to beat you with his right arm. Don't give up the big throws down the field. Make a play when it presents itself. Seems pretty straightforward, and quite frankly it is. The 49ers they do some exotic things with their looks and their abilities to get into different positions, but at the end of the day, it's all about fundamentals. Tackling, doing your responsibility, and doing your job. And then I know I usually keep this to only 5, but I got an extra one in here this week, so the bonus is who wins the turnover battle. You look at the 49ers, their turnover differential, that's the best indicator if they're going to win or lose. How are they doing as far as turnovers? Since the start of last season, when they don't turn the ball over more than their opponent, the 49ers are 24-3. They're undefeated this year when they don't turn the ball over more than their opponent. When they do, however, they're 1-9. And so you look at the numbers this year, they are undefeated when they don't turn the ball over more than their opponent. They haven't won a game yet this season when they have. The one game that where they won with more turnovers since the start of last season actually came in 2021. So for the 49ers and the Eagles, they have both done a really good job this year of protecting the football. Eagles have turned the ball over just 19 times, and the 49ers just 17. So 2 teams that are really good at protecting the football, 2 teams that are really good at taking it away. But it's still going to be a big part of this game today is who can win that turnover matchup. If the 49ers can get it done there, I think they get it done on the scoreboard as well. Got Peter Lee in the house. Peter calls into the show every once in a while. He says, "Hey, Jack, can't wait for the game. Looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I've been up and off and on throughout last night. Really excited to be here in Philadelphia. It's beyond an amazing experience. I got to say that." And then really quick, as far as what my prediction for this game is, I am going to go with the 49ers winning by a score of 20-16. tight game. You look at this game and you have the San Francisco and Philadelphia, two of the best teams in the NFC. It's been kind of on a collision course, really, over the second half of the year. You look at the way they play, both teams are very similar in the fact that they're very physical, very good defensively. They have offenses that are at their best when they run. So that's going to make it quite a matchup there. And I think for me, and here's the biggest one, San Francisco's win over Dallas. I think that served as a tune-up for this team. It helped them expose them to the speed I think they're going to see today against Philadelphia. That Dallas team was very quick, gave them trouble there. And you look over the other side and you have an Eagles team which really hasn't played a tough game in over 4 weeks. In fact, they played the New York Giants 2 times in the last 3 weeks. So the last 2 games are against the New York Giants. The Week 18 game against the backups of the Giants, which was a walkover. Then you have a week off, and then you play the Giants again, and that's a game that's over with by halftime. If the 49ers can stick around in this game and everything and don't allow it to get away early, if they can do what they're supposed to do, it is going to be 49ers on top today by a score of 20-16. So there you have it. Those are my 5 keys. Let me just go through it again. Brock Purdy just sticking and doing what he's been doing. If Brock Purdy plays the way he's been playing throughout this run, bodes well, especially in the second half. Run the ball, find that success there. Pile up yards after the catch in the receiving game, like you have been, like you're known to do. Make Philadelphia's secondary try to tackle you. You've got to force Jalen Hurts to beat you on defense and keep everything in front of you and win the turnover battle. So there you have it. That's how you get to the 49ers winning this game by a score of 20-16. I'm gonna before I head out, I want to shout out one more thing for you guys. If you followed me on Twitter, you saw it earlier, but you know that I grew up as a 49er fan. I'm still a big-time 49er fan, although it's got to be tempered, and I don't really expose it all that much. But I'm going to do it a little bit today for you guys because back in 1994, the 49ers, you might remember, they had their throwback uniforms in 1994, and my dad went out and he got a hat for that throwback season. This one right here. See this right here? You see that right there? You see that? That's right. 49ers. This was the hat I wore to every game in 1994 at Candlestick Park. Every game, this hat came out. I made sure, my dad passed away a few years ago, but I wanted to make sure that I brought that hat with me. I felt like that hat needed to make the trip out to Philadelphia and be with me. I won't wear it in the press box, but I'm going to have it there with me and so that he's here. And it's going to be a lot of fun watching this 49er game. And hopefully things turn out right for the 49ers, and we're talking about a victory after the game. So thanks to everybody for tuning in. If you guys can do me a favor, hit the like button, and then also hit the subscribe button. When you hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell notification. The bell notification lets you know every time we go online. And then also there's a couple things that are up over there already. There's some shots of me coming into the stadium today, so you get a little bit of an idea of the tailgating scene that's going on out here at Lincoln Financial Stadium in Philadelphia. You get a little bit of that, a little bit of a taste. And then also I was able to just shot some video of the 49ers getting off their team bus right before we went online. I was able to get some video of the 49ers getting off their team bus, getting into the locker room today. So those are both already up on the site, ready for you to check those out as well. So hope you all have a great Sunday watching this game. Kickoff in about 2 hours from now. Make sure you do me another favor. Get yourselves to 49ers.pressdemocrat.com. Over at 49ers.pressdemocrat.com, that is the Inside the 49ers blog. You will be able to see my updates and analysis live throughout the game. That's where I do most of my stuff there. And then after the game is over, I'll be doing a live show. I'm not sure if I'll be from here at the stadium or if I'll be doing it back at the hotel. We'll find out. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you're locked in all day long to 49ers.pressdemocrat.com. Make sure you're locked into the channel as well. CarCast wanted to know when the 49ers players arrived. Just mention that, CarCast. The 49ers players are here. There is video of them arriving, going into the locker room on my channel, so make sure you check it out before you head away today. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the game. Talk to you all soon. Take care, everybody.